Hey there, if you're in the funk, you definitely need this video because I am in the funk. I've been in the funk for a month at least, but here's the funk. When you're a Christian, it's you don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like telling anybody about Jesus. You don't feel like, if you're a preacher like me, an evangelist, you don't feel like being an evangelist. You're burned out. You know, we all get like that, and we say, why would God use me? I'm so inconsistent. I'm so wishy-washy, man. I don't even like who I am most of the time, y'all. I'll be honest with you. And you know, I'll tell you how God is. God will take His word and He will answer you. And not only answer you, but just really show you how silly it is to feel like we do. First of all, God didn't have to save me. He didn't have to save you. He could have just turned His back and said, you know, David's not worth it. And actually, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth Christ going to the cross and dying for me. I'm not worth Him going through the suffering and the turmoil and all my sins was placed upon Him. People mocked Him. They made fun of Him. The God of all creation laid down His identity, who He was in heaven, and came to earth for me. I'm not worth it. But you know what? To Him I was. To Him you are. And He said, I'm coming. I'm coming for you. And I feel that saying it. Man, I needed to hear that. I blessed myself. But this video, I guess, what I'm trying to say is, I wonder why God would use me. Got a fly epidemic going on here. In John 11, God answered me in His word. He says, Jesus said there was a man named Lazarus. He loved Lazarus. He loves you. He loves me. And Lazarus was sick and he was dying. And He didn't get in a hurry to go to Lazarus. And He even made a comment. He said, the sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified, is why He's going through this. We go through things for the glory of God. A lot of times things that are happening in our lives are to give God glory. We don't see it, we don't understand it, but God has a reason. The Bible says in Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good to them that are called, to them that love God, to them that are called according to His purpose. Lazarus died. Jesus got there. He raised Lazarus from the dead. The Bible says that Lazarus came out with grave clothes on. He stunk. He had the smell of death. I have the smell of death on me, and you did too when Jesus come to us. People said, no, they're no good. They can't be saved. There's nothing good about that person. But Jesus saw something in you that He loved, and that's your soul. And He said, Lazarus, come forth. Lazarus came out. He was wrapped in grave clothes. Jesus said, loose him and let him go. Now, Lazarus' life, when he was resurrected from the grave, gave God glory, glorified Jesus. Let everybody know right then who Jesus was. Matter of fact, the Pharisees and Sadducees, they wanted to get rid of Lazarus because he was a living testimony to God. That's how you are. You might have been an addict. You might have been God only knows what you might have been or what I was. But we're a living testimony to the goodness of God. And there's people that don't like you. There's people that don't like me. They say, you know, I don't like him or her being able to serve God. Who are they? They don't deserve it. Well, you know what? We don't. But for the glory of God is why you've been raised up. Jesus saved you and He loved you. I hope this blesses you. I hope it touches your heart, whoever you are watching this. And yes, I'm still in the funk, but I can feel the Spirit of God, and He's with me in it. And maybe you are too. Maybe this video will change somebody's life today. And so I say, for the glory of God, let it be so.